There's another very powerful point, Dan, that I think is of its time as well in your book, and it's that you encourage people to take the responsibility and the agency to nurture and cultivate their own lives and experience. And I think you align it to tending to a garden to some degree. And the metaphor suggests that individuals can actively shape their own destinies, just as gardeners plant and care for what they plant. And it emphasises beautifully the idea that people have control over their lives and can make choices and take actions that lead to personal growth and fulfillment and the realisation of their goals. And in my experience, speaking to people, this is such a central point, this idea of agency, and it's aligned with some of the things that you do speak about, like purpose and belonging. And I think more and more people are seeking that agency, and they want to give their best selves to their organisation or their work, and they want to to have the balance as well, and the boundaries and the balance of boundaries and integration into your organisation. But could you speak to us a little bit about that, about how people, about why they should do it and how they could do it? Because I think there's a really powerful message for people in there.
Well, I'm so glad you asked that, Shay, because I almost wrote an entire book on agency. I may come back to it, but I realized as I was doing the research that, the work and the life factors were expanding, and it wasn't just a book about agency that was gnawing at me. But agency kept coming back in the research as one of those factors, as you point out, quite rightly, Shay, that people demand. And so agency at times also can be vernacular-wise, I suppose, considered free will. And free will can be also considered perhaps as empowerment to the degree where you're able to make decisions and take action. So how important is that? Well, hot damn, I certainly want agency in my life where if I'm with a partner or a family or I'm by myself, whatever the case is, I want to have the free will and the empowerment of myself to make decisions that can result in something positive in my life. And so am I able to regulate myself, regulate decisions? Am I able to take in the input? Am I able to kind of review and reflect on that? Or am I encumbered? Am I shackled? And if I feel that way in my life, like, hot damn, I'm going to feel like that at work if my leader, my team, the cultural ethos in the organization is one in which it muffles me, and ergo, I no longer feel I have agency. So there is the nails on a chalkboard, the aluminum foil in my mouth. It tastes awful and it feels crunchy, and I don't want to swallow that thing because I'm going to end up in a hospital. But that's kind of the metaphorical point, though. If I'm a gardener of my life, I'd like to be a gardener inside of the place in which I work, but I realize that ultimately I do need a little bit of help. And maybe my leader can help be the gardener with its own tool shed. And, hey, can I borrow your tool? Can you teach me how to grow my goddamn Brussels sprouts in winter because I'm having difficulty? And so that's agency. Agency is having the ability to also ask when you're derelict and or disadvantaged by an answer. And if leaders don't pay attention to one's need for agency and don't want to bolster that, then again, you're having that friction, that misalignment between kind of the work and the life factors. So thank you for asking, because it's so important.